Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today we're doing an ABC deck profile. So I'm really excited for you guys because this deck is an absolutely amazing deck and has been one of the top decks ever since it was created. It's a really fun deck to play around with because it summons out one of the craziest boss monsters in the entire game in the form of your ABC Dragon Buster, which is an awesome boss monster. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards like getting your name in the description of every single video, getting a signed card sent in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your patron along with test hands. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of a Assault Core. A Assault Core is one of the best cards in the deck and one of the key cards that you're going to be using to go in your copy of your ABC Dragon Buster. It has the effect of once per turn, you can either target a light machine monster that you control and equip this card to that target, or unequip it and special summon this card. Now, all of your ABC pieces actually share that ability to be able to equip themselves and unequip themselves from machine monsters. It also has the ability that a monster equipped with this card is unaffected by your opponent's monster effects except its own, and also if the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, destroy this card instead. And if this card is sent to the graveyard from the field, then you get the ability to add a one other union monster from your graveyard to your hand, which is a really good effect just to be able to kind of recur your union monsters. We then play 3 copies of B Buster Drake. B Buster Drake is, in my opinion, the best ABC piece because it has the ability that a monster equipped with this card is unaffected by your opponent's spell effects, and also if the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, destroy this card instead. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you get to add a union monster from your deck to your hand, and it is a really good card because you get that search. We then play 3 copies of Sea Crush Wyvern. I still think 3 of each is the best way to play this deck. And this card is a really good card because it has the ability that a monster equipped with this card is unaffected by your opponent's trap effects. And also, if the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle by card effects, you can destroy this card instead. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you get to special summon a union monster from your hand, which helps out the deck a lot to just get union monsters on your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Union Driver. This card is just a 1-up to me. It helps with a lot of combo pieces in the deck, but I just feel like you need 1 of this card. We then play 2 copies of Galaxy Soldier. Galaxy Soldier is here because it actually helps us go into our Cyber Dragon Nova and then going into Infinity. It also helps out with Link plays if you want to go in for Link summoning, because all you have to do is send a light monster from your hand to the graveyard and then special summon this card to your field, and then you can add another copy of Galaxy Soldier from your deck to your hand. I feel like 2 is the best number for this deck because 2 gets us into all the different plays that we need to go into, and it is just a really helpful card at 2, especially getting the exact ABC piece that is in our hand to the graveyard. We then play 2 copies of Gameciel because Gameciel outs literally any big boss monster that our opponent plays. You can play your copies of the Mystery Dust Kaiju in the place of this if you feel like you're going to be playing up against a barrier statue, but this card at 2 is just a really good card to stop your opponent's plays. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is here to stop your opponent from touching the deck and going in for additional plays. I really love this card. It stops all sorts of searching and is just an overall fantastic card. We then play 3 copies of Effect Veiler just to stop our opponent's monster effects. During your opponent's main phase, you can discard this card to negate a face-up monster's effect on the field, which is a really good card effect just to stop the exact monster that we want to stop from searching, going in for destructions, and it's just an overall good card. So that's it for the monsters. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Upstart Goblin because it helps us go through the deck a little bit faster with this particular card. 1 copy of Terraforming because we're trying to get to our insanely powerful field spell. 1 copy of Monster Reborn just to bring back cards that we use for Link plays or Link monsters back from the graveyard. 1 copy of Foolish Burial to get the exact ABC piece we need in the graveyard when we need it. 1 copy of Called by the Grave to stop our opponent's hand traps, and 3 copies of Triple Tactical Talents. I love Triple Tactical Talents in this deck because if your opponent has activated a monster effect during your turn, then during your main phase, you can activate one of the following effects to draw 2, take a card your opponent controls until the end of the turn, which is a monster, and look at your opponent's hand and shuffle 1 card from their hand into the deck, which is a great effect just to get rid of key combo pieces. cases. If your opponent does hand trap you, you have this card to be able to stop your opponent. If you don't want to play this, you can play more hand traps, like 2 Nibiru and a copy of Ghost Spell, or play 3 Nibiru in this card's place just to stop your opponent from establishing a crazy board, but it is an option for you guys. You can also play Forbidden Chalice if you want to in this particular slot as well. We then play 3 copies of Union Hanger. Union Hanger is a great card for this deck because it is one of the craziest field spells ever printed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because when this card is activated, you get to add a Light Machine Union monster from your deck to your hand, and then once per turn, if a Light Machine Union monster is normal or special summoned to your field, except during a damage step, you can target one of those monsters and equip an appropriate Light Machine Union monster from your deck with a different name from that monster. But the Union monster equipped by this effect cannot be special summoned this turn. That's still great for this deck because if you have, say, a copy of C in your hand and a copy of B in the deck, you can normal summon out the copy of B and then, or a copy of C onto your side of the field and then equip it with A from the deck and then be able to send the last piece that you need with Foolish Burial and then finally send them all and banish them to summon out your copy of your ABC Dragon Buster. So this card plus like a Foolish Burial or having the extra piece in your hand plus a Galaxy Soldier will essentially get you into your copy of your ABC Dragon Buster really fast. We then play 3 copies of Unauthorized Reactivation. Unauthorized Reactivation lets you target a machine monster that you control and equip an appropriate Machine Union monster from your hand or deck to that Union monster you control, which is a really good effect, but it can't be special summoned the turn that you equip it, so it acts kind of like additional copies of Union Hanger that don't let you actually search from the deck. It lets you just equip a monster, which helps out the deck to get the exact Union monster you need on your side of the field to go in for your really awesome ABC Dragon Buster. So that's it for the spells. Let's get into the traps, because we actually play a couple of traps in here. So for the traps, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. This card is really good just to stop your opponent's monster effects, and it helps out the deck a lot. And then I'm choosing to actually main 3 copies of Evenly Matched. Evenly Matched has come up so much in this deck when I've actually played it. I was actually putting in the deck to just test it, and I fell in love with it being in the main because at the end of the battle phase, if your opponent controls more cards than you do, you can make your opponent banished cards from their field face down so they all control the same number of cards as you do. And if you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. This card helps you out a lot because it does stop your opponent from establishing crazy boards, and even though they establish the board, you can combo this card out on your side of the field and just completely board wipe them. You can even change out, if you want to, the triple tactical talents for Dark Ruler No Mores to be able to kind of make your opponents feel where they can't respond to the effects of Evenly Matched, which is another budget option for the triple tactical talents that you guys can put in. I really do recommend the Evenly Matches though, because they do help out the deck a lot and really surprise your opponent that you're maining these. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, you've got to play 3 copies of ABC Dragon Buster. This card is a great boss monster for the deck and has some really neat effects. It actually requires an A, B, and a C to summon this card. It must first be special summoned from your extra deck by banishing the above materials from your field or your graveyard. You can actually banish them from the graveyard to summon this card, which is a really good effect, and you don't even have to use polymerization. And once per turn, during either player's turn, you can discard a card and then target a card on the field and banish it. And then during your opponent's turn, you contribute this card and then target 3 of your banished Light Machine monsters that are unions with different names and special summon them, and this is a quick effect, so you can actually chain to another effect to get the monsters back on your field, which is pretty good, especially if your opponent's trying to pop this card. You can really quickly chain it and then special summon back your 3 union monsters, which then when your opponent deals with those union monsters, you're going to get all sorts of different effects because when they leave the field, they get effects. We then play a single copy of the Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. This card helps out a lot in the deck to be able to get rid of your opponent's cards, and it's super easy to summon. It cold waves the field, and you can actually use one of your opponent's monsters to actually link summon into this card. When you summon out your copy of your ABC Dragon Buster and you tag it out back for the other 3, if your opponent cannot deal with those other 3 pieces, then all you do is normal summon a monster out and link away one opponent's monster with your normal summon and your 3 ABC pieces to summon this card to your field, and then banish all 3 of the pieces to summon out your copy of your ABC Dragon Buster all over again. We then play a single copy of Access Code Talker because it does give us additional pops on the field, which helps us out a lot. One copy of Appaloosa because Appaloosa is really easy to summon in this deck, especially with getting ABC pieces back on your side of the field. One copy of Selene. You might be wondering, where is the spellcaster we're actually going to summon using this card? Well, you actually have it in the deck in the form of your Effect Veilers. So you can actually use the Effect Veilers with this particular card to climb into your copy of Access Code because this card is a spellcaster, which helps out the deck a lot to be able to use it in combo with your Selene to climb into your copy of Access Code. One copy of Nightmare Unicorn to get us spins, one copy of Phoenix to pop spells and traps, IP Masquerena to be able to link summon during your opponent's turn, one copy of Claire and Rushka. This card is really good because you cannot be link summoned except during the main phase 2, but during the main phase 2 you can link into this card, and it is an earth monster that lets you link climb as well. I'm playing this card as a 1-of in here because I'm testing it out, and I'm kind of liking it because you can during the main phase 2 link away a card on your field and then summon this card. One copy of Cyber Dragon Infinity to give you those negates, one copy of Nova because you can actually make your copy of Infinity by using Nova as a material, one copy of 41 Baguska because you can throw this in defense position and your opponent's going to have to wait out at least 2 turns or deal with this card and use a lot of resources to get rid of it, and a single copy of Abyss Dweller because Abyss Dweller comes in handy for graveyard heavy decks. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It's a really fun deck to play. It's not crazy expensive to get the core of the deck. Some of the deck cards can be, but you can change those out, like the copies of Access Code Talker can be changed out for Boral Sword, and the copies of your triple tactical talents can be changed out for Dark Ruler No Mores, which is totally options for you guys. You can even change out the evenly matches if you want to for some other cards like Solemn Strikes if you really want to make this deck really cheap, but it is an option for you guys. That's what I love about ABC so much, is this deck is so like you can interchange all the different pieces as long as you keep the core. So that's it for the deck, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.